Since the Meiji period, land reclamation has been carried out along the coast of Tokyo Bay. Landfills are easiest to build at areas along the beach with a depth of less than 5 meters, and sand from Tokyo Bay's floor is used for these projects. Due to continuous land reclamation work, the topography of Tokyo Bay's shoreline differs significantly from that of the pre-modern period. In 2021, Tokyo Bay will have around 249 square kilometers of reclaimed land. In Greater Tokyo, aggregate home waste production is large, and traditional garbage disposal locations are scarce. Waste is meticulously sorted at the household level, and much of it is converted to ash and recycled into bay landfill. When the home is owned outright or the seller owes less on the mortgage than fair market value, a traditional sale occurs. Unlike foreclosures, short sales, and probate sales, conventional sales entail faster transactions between both parties. We normally propose conventional sales to our customers, particularly first-time homeowners, to help them avoid the pitfalls that come with distressed houses or probate sales. Traditional sales are the best option for most buyers who want to buy and move into their dream house as soon as feasible. When it comes to distressed properties, it can take months for the seller's bank to approve an offer or, in the instance of a probate sale, a court date to be scheduled. Proposals for research initiatives focused at increasing our basic understanding of entrepreneurs and the levers, tools, and approaches that can encourage entrepreneurship in the United States are being accepted as part of the Knowledge Challenge. Proposers working in universities and academic institutions, laboratories, enterprises, nonprofit organizations, and as people are eligible to participate in the Knowledge Challenge. Academic entrepreneurial collaborations, entrepreneurship assistance programs, and other entrepreneurial ecosystem builders are all welcome. The Knowledge Challenge may award project teams up to $400,000 per year, individual researchers up to $150,000 per year, including recruiting contracts and research assistants, and students, student teams, and PhD researchers up to $30,000 per year. Understanding Migration was created in response to multiple requests from educators and curriculum specialists for the presentation and debate of human migration issues in social studies classes. What are the factors that have led to significant numbers of people being forced to relocate? What are the consequences of this movement? What's more, how can such a fluid and ethereal idea be presented in a classroom in an easy-to-understand manner with clear lesson objectives and outcomes? To answer these and other critical concerns, regional case studies were chosen. We presented the facts in each case study using primary source documents whenever possible. Because no two downturns are the same, marketers find themselves in uncharted territory throughout each one. However, we've uncovered patterns in consumer behavior and corporate strategy that either propel or hinder performance after monitoring the marketing successes and failures of hundreds of companies as they negotiated recessions from the 1970s onward. Companies must be aware of changing consumer habits and adjust their tactics accordingly. Consumers, understandably, set tougher priorities and cut back on their spending during recessions. Businesses often cut expenses, lower prices, and postpone new expenditures as sales decline. Marketing budgets are sometimes trimmed across the board, from communications to research, but this is a mistake.
Plexiglass, a high-quality plastic, can be used to make plastic domes. It has characteristics similar to glass. Its light permeability remains constant over time. It has a hard surface that smog and particles do not adhere to or bake into. It is self-cleaning because each rain thoroughly rinses it. In the event of a severe wind, the surface is scratch-resistant. It has outstanding optical properties and can capture and transmit sunlight down the tube. UV radiation, temperature changes, and moisture have no effect on it. The drawback is that it is more expensive. Some producers opt for a roof window to which a solar tunnel tube is attached rather than a dome. This is an intriguing approach. However, it's only appropriate for areas where a less amount of sunshine is sufficient. Nutrition is important not just for children's health and survival, but also for families and nations' economic development. It's encouraging to see international leaders pay more attention to malnutrition in all of its forms, especially stunting, around the world. To ensure that this success continues, more effort and attention will be required. The Global Nutrition Summit will build on the success of Nutrition for Growth, the first ever global nutrition conference, which raised more than $4 billion for nutrition-specific projects and $19 billion for nutrition-sensitive initiatives in London in 2021. The summit will promote discussion on hot topics like cities as innovator hubs, sustainable food systems for optimal nutrition, and gender, health, and nutrition.
Colombia on Tuesday adopted a tax reform plan that was at the root of violent anti-government protests that left more than 60 people dead this year, but was eventually reconfigured to be kinder to the middle class and the poor. President Ivan Duque signed the so-called social investment law, which has as its stated objective to combat poverty in a country hit hard by the coronavirus epidemic. He says the law will, quote, benefit nearly 29 million Colombians in a vulnerable situation, out of a total population of some 50 million. A first version of the law presented by Dookie early this year to combat the economic consequences of the global health crisis would have significantly increased taxes on an already battered middle class.
Despite the fact that attention is essential for learning, it is difficult to achieve. It is a technique that requires a great deal of patience and effort to master. Whoever masters it is a true yogi. Controlling our senses and bringing all of our consciousness into one place is no easy undertaking. Life is complex, and there are always multiple situations clamoring for our attention, making it even more difficult to concentrate on just one subject. Even if we try to focus completely on the task at hand, our subconscious mind is scattered in many areas and quickly drags our conscious mind along with it without our knowledge. As a result, it necessitates a great deal of self-control and determination. For food delivery companies, the European market is a difficult landscape. In the last few years, Delivery Hero has had a good run. It ascended to the DAX, the stock market index of Germany's most valued listed companies, in August 2020. It can be found in 50 different countries across 4 continents. The third quarter's revenue was €1.8 billion, $2 billion, up 89% from the same time in 2020. We grew 100% before Corona, 100% during Corona, and 100% after Corona, says Niklas Ostberg, the Swedish chief executive of the Berlin-based corporation. Delivery Hero is more than twice as big as DoorDash, a major American competitor, in terms of order volume. A £10 prize was given to anyone who could provide information regarding Oliver's parents. However, no valuable information was found. Oliver was transported to a nearby poor farm, where he spent his early years being neglected and starved. He was returned to the workhouse when he was 9 years old. The children in the workhouse were fed so little that they were practically constantly hungry. Other children forced Oliver to request a second dish of oatmeal one day. This unexpected and unprecedented demand astounded the officials. They put him in solitary prison right away to give him a deterrent punishment and posted a bill offering £5 to any master who would take him. One of the most crucial parts of every relationship is trust. Medicine treats a person's physical disease, but trust and caring aid mental recovery. When it comes to you, a trustworthy individual will be dependable and honest. They will not lie, steal, cheat, lose their devotion to something, or abandon you over insignificant concerns. The words integrity, honesty, reliability, and loyalty come to mind when describing trustworthiness. Integrity means having faith in yourself and standing up for your values. If there is no trust between husband and wife, parents and children, friends and neighbors, etc., life will be difficult. It is impossible to regain trust after it has been lost. Life may go on after trust is lost, but the frayed edge will always be obvious. Courtney Hammond, a blueberry and cranberry farmer in Washington County, Maine, has many concerns, as do many farmers. Weather, invasive species, failed crops, and worldwide prices are all on his mind. To comply with federal food safety regulations, he had to undergo training, keep detailed records, implement bug and rodent control measures, and document the sanitation of his processing equipment on a regular basis. I don't have to worry about anyone getting sick from eating anything that leaves my farm, he says, despite the fact that it's a lot of effort. He is now concerned that a new law may jeopardize his hard work. Earlier this month, 61% of Maine voters approved a constitutional amendment ensuring that all Mainers have a right to food.
Hi Bobby, how are you?
I am good. What about you?
I am fine. When do you get up in the morning?
I always get up early in the morning, most of the time at 6 o'clock.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. I can't do that. I am a bit worried.
You can too. It is not that hard. If you do it for a couple of days, then it will be your habit. You just need to start.
What is the benefit of early rising?
First of all, we get a long day to work more and enjoy our time. And then it has lots of health benefits too.
I was lying in my bed last night, reading a ghost story, and I'm not sure when sleep overtook me. In my dream, I encountered an elderly gentleman who claimed to be a magician. He claimed to be able to compel ethereal spirits to do whatever he wanted. I made fun of him and even called him a fake. He became enraged with me. He raised his hand and spoke something unusual. Suddenly, a snake emerged in his hand, which he unleashed on me. I was terrified and tried to flee, but I couldn't get my feet off the ground. I yelled in terror. My father, who had been sleeping next to me, awoke. Father shook my hand and inquired about the situation. Then I informed him about my dreadful nightmare. She predicts that if the distribution of women's employment matched that of men, if women were doctors and men were nurses, at best a third of the pay difference would be eliminated. The most essential reason is that women cut back on their careers as part of a reasonable household response to labor markets that lavishly reward everyone, male or female, who is prepared to work in a greedy job, as Ms. Golden describes it. These are jobs that require lengthy and irregular hours, such as those in law, accounting, and finance. Someone needs to be on call at home in case a child becomes ill and needs to be picked up from school, or if a youngster needs to be cheered on at a performance or football game.